Hello, everybody. My name is the number 12, and welcome. Excuse me a second. Welcome to an extremely quiet playthrough of VVVVVV. Some of you might have been looking at the title of this video and were ready to point out the fact that this is an extremely derivative project inspired heavily by one Markiplier, and you would be absolutely correct. Now, in the astronomically unlikely event that Mr. Markiplier himself ever watches this or is made aware of it, please note that this imitation is intended as a sincere form of flattery, as much as I tend to avoid those with excessive sailor mouths. He is too much of a fun-to-watch character for me to care. He is one of my best guilty pleasures of the internet, and I hold him in very high esteem. He is also a genuine good dude. Now then, onto my playthrough of VVVVVV at an exceptionally low volume. I was thinking about whether or not to narrate this. If I narrate something, I have to put on a voice. If I put on a voice, there must be effort. And effort in speaking is strictly prohibited in this particular project. Besides, I don't think any of you care one way or the other about the storyline of a game like this from 2010. Maybe you do, but by now, you probably already figured it out for yourself. In any case, this is not a game that anyone plays for the story. It is a game meant to be played for the challenge. Challenge which I am most successful at. Not most successful. If I were most successful, I would be able to complete every single trinket without failing a single time. But I am not capable of such a feat. As a matter of fact, I am not capable of completing it any percent without taking a hit along the way. I have gotten reasonably close. I have not yet achieved this. We are just going to do my regular route for now. If this video gets any sort of traction, and by my standards, traction does not have to be a very big number, it just has to be a decent fistful of attention. But if this video does decently well, I will attempt to do this again with all the trinkets. I'm good enough at this game that will not take me forever. So if you would like to see that, do not hesitate to ask. I am up to the task. Do not expect me to continue rhyming in this fashion. Remember, of course, that my name on YouTube is the number 12. My name on Twitch is VegetaFan3, and I've been doing as much of this streaming as I can. Well, no, I really haven't. I've been doing as much of this streaming as I want. Let's be real here. I lead a quiet life. As quiet as this video, one might say. And were I to make streaming my #1 priority, it would feel as if I was wasting all of the quiet time that I have been making, building my life skills up to a moment to, well, walking the stage and receiving my master's degree in a couple of years. I think the only thing is I'm too into sports and playing poker to stream full-time, which is one of the most pathetic things that a human being could possibly say, but it is an incredibly first world problem. And I never said I was above first world problems. Notice that I have not yet died. I'm going to in a few seconds because I said that out loud. But just let it be known that even though I'm focusing more on giving you ear blessings via a calm, deep voice than I am actually playing this game, I am most capable of a clean performance. This particular room I do not find to be challenging. I am sure anyone would find it challenging their first few times playing it. Believe me when I tell you, the amount of skill progression you will experience when naturally playing this game and developing your muscle memories will impress you. That is, if you like platformers. If you don't like platformers, then you probably won't like this game at all. That is the same place where I very nearly lost what ended up being the deepest run of the day earlier today. And it happened again. I don't know why that's become a thing. Bouncing is perfectly safe in this game, unless there are kids your age. I think you will find out what I mean momentarily. Young man, it's worth the challenge. The game calls me a young man. At 27, I am beginning to appreciate comments like those more and more. People my age usually already have master's degrees, or if not, have at least been at work for 6 or 7 years. It took me 9 years just to get a bachelor's degree. But in a way, that just makes me all the more proud of the fact that I have it. And I have been told that it is not unusual or shameful in the slightest to have taken that long to get a degree. So all in all, I have a very good, positive attitude and outlook about that. I just hope it doesn't take another 9 to get a master's, because that would be pathetic. I'm helping. I said I wasn't going to do voices. That is the most important piece of dialogue in the entire game, and I refuse to let it go unsaid. This is Kids His Age Bounce. I passed it. As you can see, when kids your age bounce, it is not perfectly safe. Look at me casually making it all the way to Victoria without messing up once. I had a terrible session on stream today. Of course, once I turn the camera off in this one time only, unless this video gets traction, of course, gimmick type run, I suddenly start playing flawlessly. You tell me how that works. I wish I knew. This is not yet one of the very best runs I've ever had without taking a hit. That was closer than it should have been. That was not a hard room. However, this is easing its way into the top 15% of all runs that I've done. If I pass this next room, well, I didn't. So that ties the third best run of my session. I was going to say that this was suddenly becoming in the top 12% of runs I've ever done. But I think we're gonna have to settle for top 15% now. That is a very difficult room, however. Fickle little beast. How in the world did I screw that up? This is, of course, exactly the way I play my platformers. If you thought that one room was a fickle beast, you need to meet my skill level. Once I make one mistake, you have no idea how fertile the mistake grounds suddenly become. Mistakes are planted ad nauseam and fertilized faster than the average rabbit. And before you know it, a perfectly clean run is suddenly being tarnished by mistake after mistake in a room that I can normally pass without much difficulty. Although those were two of the more difficult rooms in the game, so I'm not too upset about those. You don't want to be too upset, of course. In a quiet run, my mouth is this close to the microphone. I'm not going to give you a visual. It's really close to the microphone, and I hope to God that the microphone's actually picking up my voice, because it goes quiet a lot. And I had to in case you didn't watch, I put up an unbelievably pointless video just a few days ago where I mispronounced the name of every single country. And I had to re-record on 6 or 7 of those countries because the stupid microphone just would not keep recording my voice. I feel like it does a better job if I'm more continuously talking, which is what I am trying to do here. More so than when I actually stream the game, sad as that may be. But you can understand, of course, when I stream the game, I'm going for broke. This is a mere gimmick run, not meant to count toward anything. The focus levels on stream must be higher. That is when everything that starts to matter takes shape, takes form. And yet in this utterly meaningless run, I am playing very, very well. It bothers me. It bothers me how my muscle memory can be this good, and I can play this good without even focusing that hard. But then when it comes time to live stream my progress, and I have every right to focus entirely on this game and the muscle memories within, that I still screw everything up. I love you. These are the words of Bennett Foddy, who named every room in this game that has a name anyway. and he is now the source of the prop bet that I have cursed myself with. I one-shot that. I've only had 2 deaths in this entire damn game so far. But anyway, yes, Bennett Foddy has named every room in this game that has a name, and that is the source of the prop bet that I have put out there. Because my first run featured 571 deaths, I believed foolishly that I can beat the game in less than 571 attempts without a single death. I am going to lose that bet, and when I do, it's time for getting over it with Bennett Foddy. The connecting theme between this game and the perfect punishment. Not to mention the fact that it was gifted to me by Zurich61, who has had many an impressive run on both Bennett Foddy and this. You may call him a Bennett Foddy connoisseur, though at the moment you may call him a Bloons Tower Defense connoisseur, because that's what he's doing with his time right now. I don't know why I'm talking about that. This is the Gravitron, the one beast not yet slain in any of my runs. I've had 17 attempts to slay this dragon. On a true run, none have yet succeeded. In practice today, I very nearly did, but I choked with about 4 seconds left, because I do that a lot. It would have really, really bothered me if I had aced it on this run, so I'm glad that I failed. Of course, I never fail anything on purpose for any psychological reason. You'd better believe that all of these runs are given with 110% of my effort. Well, 110% of my effort that's not already going into the voiceover, that is. This was where I screwed everything up. Apparently that section was harder than I was making it out to be in the past. I thought that part was really easy, but apparently it's not, and I was really good at it. But now I suck. What a surprise. Something I used to be really good at, and now I suck at it. And it's a really important part of the game. Those 5 seconds. A real make or break part of the game. The ability to see the rest that this wonderful VVVVVV dimension has to offer. And yes, that is seriously, it's just called Dimension VVVVVV. If you happen to die in the overworld, that is the room they say that you ended your run on. Anyway, it is time for part 2 of the space station. The place you met in the very beginning of the game. Which was not all that long ago, because I'm just breezing through everything. That was unfortunate. And by unfortunate, I mean unfortunate that I suck. That time I wasn't paying any attention. There's a lot of cheap ways you can have your run come to a premature end around here. I think it's safe to say, when I get here in a real run, the tension will be magnificent. Now that Gordian knot, if you go down there and try and get a trinket, there is a way to cheese it, but it's pretty precise. Either way, if I was to attempt every single trinket in the game, that one may legitimately be slightly more of a headache than Veni Vidi Vici. aka doing things the hard way, which I'm sure is what got most people into this game. I know it got me into it. You present an aspiring gaming masochist with a challenge that you deem to be excessive. And all you do is attract the dopamine in your potential customers. A brilliant marketing move indeed, without even being a marketing move. That being said, we're skipping that because that's not part of the run that I'm doing. I have said many a time that the muscle memory is unbelievably important when it comes to doing a perfect run like this. Therefore, we are going with the muscle memory and not stopping for anything else until I have my win, my victory, my revenge. I'm joking, I don't have any enemies. Would you like to be my enemy? Please don't. I'm not comfortable with having an enemy because that's not really a thing that happens anymore. We all had enemies back in school because they were stupid kids and so were we. But I am no child. I am 27 years of age with full facial hair. Way too much hair on my head. I'm going to get a haircut soon. I've said that and died to a yes man. To be fair, this is one of the more acceptable places for that to happen. Well, that was pathetic. I am honestly not a fan of this remix of the song, at least in a vacuum, but I am sure that when I finally get here in a real run, I will really appreciate the added tension that it provides, the added sense of occasion, of just how far I have come without ever taking a hit. It may be a while before I experience such a sensation, but I know you're all rooting for me, right? It won't happen in the first 571 attempts. Trust me, I've completely given up on that. Why is there a checkpoint there and then another one right there? I just now noticed how stupid that is. That room can be quite annoying, but again, the right muscle memory can fix everything. That room has been plaguing a lot of my practice runs lately. I don't know why. It's not usually a problem for me. I have been told that this room is also a common choke point, though I normally have very little trouble with it on practice. I had a bit there. I suppose this is not uncommon, however. When I first played Super Mario Sunshine, for instance, I had very little trouble with the watermelon mission, and I'm a chuckster. I had very little trouble with those. Porta Mountain was hard, let's be real. Those other two were such common choke points and points of hatred among the fans of that game. I breezed through that and I am now done. You see, once you have mastered the art of playing VVVVVV, Once you master the controls, what little there are, and the routing for the rooms, it becomes a quick and pleasurable diversion. And I encourage everyone out there who enjoys a challenge to feel your natural skill progression. Just get better and better and better until you inevitably hit a wall when you decide to go for the whole thing in one run. Because you're going to hit a wall. Its name is the Gravitron. But I think that shouldn't come as much of a surprise to anybody who's ever watched a full playthrough of this game. Which now includes you. Congratulations on joining that club. Is somebody going to make a badge for that? Don't do that, you'd be wasting your life. Anyway, let's not bother with the ending. Let us simply declare this video as a job well done. That is, as long as the microphone actually behaved itself and recorded my voice this whole time. I have very little control over that. I wish it was better. But I gave you what I had, and I hope you enjoyed it. So thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, I will absolutely do it again, and perhaps with different subject matters. Until that day, have a great time, and enjoy the other videos made by better content creators on the internet. Bye-bye.